Good morning and welcome to Tallahassee. Some of the best seats in the house here at Joanne Graff Field. And yeah, that guy's ready to track down a homer or two out beyond left as Rutgers takes on Florida State. Each of these teams winners of a doubleheader against FGCU. The Noles on Thursday, Rutgers yesterday, and that leads us to this. Welcome inside the booth, everybody, alongside the All-ACC and All-American catcher here in Tallahassee, Michaela Edenfield. I'm Sean Davison, and Michaela, this should be a lot of fun. Two really young teams that each coach will hope, as they approach conference play, starting to find their footing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, two very young teams, but two completely different tempos and style of their play. I think right now it's going to be a lot from Florida State, and how can the big bats of the Rutgers lineup get it going?
Well, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from Florida State's output on Thursday. Kennedy Harp, her first home run of her senior season, gave the Noles the lead in Game 1.
And on to just being able to do it in any fashion. But the base running, we saw a little bit of everything from Florida State's offense on the first day in the Invitational. So working from there, how can they maintain that tempo and style and do a lot to bring those runs across the board?
They run-ruled FGCU in Game 1. Michaela, Game 2, they had to come back from behind. That ball into the gap plated the initial run for Florida State. They trailed by 3, and Anna Hind put them in front for good.
Showing a little bit of that difference, but, you know, working from behind, but understanding that they can still work to get it done, and having two good at-bats from Anna Hind working to get that home run there to send the Noles with the win.
Well, we saw Jazzy Francic in the circle against FGCU. She'll get the call, but we'll talk about her in a second. Yesterday, you mentioned the way Florida State did things in a variety of ways. 17 combined runs scored, 12 hits, 6 of them for extra bases, a couple of round trippers. They walked 9 times. They were 6 of 15 with runners in scoring position, 6 of 16 with 2 outs.
Absolutely. I think for Florida State, it's going to be who can score first here and control the tempo of the game. So let's see if Jazzy can start the tempo and have the Noles start up on some good defense here.
Sam Rower will lead things off. She'll be first to face Francic and swings through strike 1. Jose Chaparro will be our home plate umpire. Jenna Bouillon will be at first. Miguel Burgos over at third, as Francic, the sophomore out of Rockledge, Florida, makes start number 7. 38 2/3 innings of work for her. ERA right around 2, 34 strikeouts to 15 walks. And that is grooved to left field. Good start by Sam Rower. So with Rower aboard, let's take a look at the Rutgers batting 9. She's going to be followed up by Haley Stripling, Riley Wong, McKenna Coleman, Mia Mitchell, Addie Osborne, the sophomore leader of this contingent, Bailey Burtis, Jayla Fuller, and Charlie Shuttler. Osborne on the season, batting .318, 14 hits, 13 RBI, the best slugger in the lineup as well.
Absolutely. I mean, now we're adding another person on the base path, but we're talking about Rutgers' focus right here. They're going to be wanting creating big innings and getting their swings off. Just seeing the games from yesterday, the big home run pop, and seeing what they can do to get their table sets, to get their swings off here.
19 runs scored yesterday by the Scarlet Knights. They won Game 1 over FGCU 10-7, won Game 2 9-1. So a really positive start as Riley Wong is set to step in. Florida State takes a moment with the infield. Getting going early here on Saturday, partially due to weather, partially due to the Savannah Bananas.
You know, I gotta love it. Florida weather.
And Wong tries to lay down the bunt. Good idea with multiple runners aboard. Wong batting .382 through the first few weeks of this season. Seen a big jump in her numbers from her freshman year where she hit .246. This time lays it down. Beecham gets on top of it and makes the play to first. Wong does her job, though, and moves both runners into scoring position.
Yeah, taking a look at that. Yeah, JC coming in for the bunt there. Just bobbled it just a little bit, but stayed on to get the out there for the Noles. But runners are in scoring position.
Early opportunity for McKenna Coleman, who goes to first. Bueno will come home. Florida State will get the lead out.
And we can see here, Bueno's just being heads up. Good communication by Bella Ruggiero at home plate. Just making that leadoff out, making sure no runs are coming up in this first.
Nice job by Ruggiero, too, leaving that leading edge open. No chance of obstruction being called there.
Yeah, obstruction. That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, the rule is continuing to change. It changed all during my 5 years, and it's going to be one we're always going to be talking about.
For sure. Always hold your breath whenever you see something like that coming up. Will it or won't it? Good job by Ruggiero, and a nice pitch there by Francic.
This is a really good response by Jazzy.
Ian Mitchell yesterday had a heck of a day. We'll talk more about it later, but 242 the batting average, 2 home runs, 10 RBI, and to your point, perhaps could get through this inning on 10 pitches. Well, no, it'll need to at least be 11 for Francic, but didn't look like it was going to start off that way, considering it was single hit by pitch.
For sure.
Then a sac bunt and the fielder's choice.
But I think with just taking that timeout earlier and being able to talk game plan,
Coleman will take the base. So multiple runners in scoring position yet again now for Rutgers.
yeah, Bella behind the dish, not too worried about making the throw there at 2. Just setting it up. Can we focus on this out here at bat?
Ooh. Speed off the plate. It goes full to Mitchell. Eight hits on the season for Mia, 5 of which have come in the last 3 games. Transferred in from Buffalo. Throws it foul.
Yeah, talking about the change in transferring, Coach was just saying, like, how can we get her confident and maintain? I only have 1 year with her, so how can we work to get her confident with her at-bats? And she's definitely been hacking lately.
Trying to do some damage here. Payoff coming. Straightaway center field. Harp will range over. And Florida State sidesteps the threat. Jazzy Francic, the super sophomore, bears down and keeps the Scarlet Knights scoring. In the first, Kelsey Hoekstra, the sophomore out of Overland Park, Kansas, will try to regain some of that lost momentum, perhaps in the circle against an FSU lineup. 32 innings of work, 2.19 the ERA, 6 walks, 28 strikeouts for Hoekstra, who is making start number 8 here in Tallahassee today. Erin Heller is ready to go. She'll lead off once again for the Noles. And that's a called strike to start her off. So it's Heller again at the top of the lineup, followed by Beecham, Danley, and Hind, who was the late game hero for the Noles yesterday. Hind followed up by Harp, who got the scoring started. as that's a ground ball to third, put away by Osborne. Sturgis, Ruggiero, Griggs, and Bueno will round things out for Florida State.
Yeah, Hoekstra just doing a really good job attacking the zone early. That's what's really effective with her. In her low ERA, it goes to command in zone. She limits free passes, and she does a really good job using her changeup early in counts to set up.
So up steps Jason E. Beecham. Beecham back on Thursday. The junior from Tallahassee, Florida, worked a walk, recorded a double, drove in a run off the fielder's choice, and was also hit by a pitch in her combined ABs against Florida Gulf Coast. So the numbers for Beecham: 404, the batting average, 3 homers, 19 driven in, OPS of 1.269. Eight extra base hits for Beecham, so that's part of that equation, that slugging portion of the OPS, but really on base percentage. 17 walks to 4 strikeouts. Boy, that was hit well but foul.
Yeah, seeing the growth of Jason E. Beecham here and understanding her numbers, man, it's been awesome to see her approach change in her at-bats and coming from that freshman year and onto her junior year here.
Off the plate, and the count will run full. A lot of full counts to Beecham. Florida State's leader in RBI with those 19. Looking to find a way on board, and she will. First base runner for Florida State as Ashton Danley steps in. Danley batting .350. And going into the big part of the ballpark. Nice play out in left by Mia Mitchell. So the left side of the defense, infield and outfield, getting their due in here in this bottom of the first. We'll go ahead and introduce you to the rest of the Scarlet Knights defensive contingent. So Osborne on the left in third, joined by Burtis on the corners, Wong and Rower up the middle, Mitchell in left field, joined by Fuller and Coleman in center and right. The freshman, Charlie Shuttler, in the backstop. Here's Xana Hine.
Yeah, these are both two young teams, so understanding the dynamic and how to work leadership in these early tournament games are really important. So seeing 77 come through for the Noles the other day and seeing they can continue on their consistency with their younger girls.
Well-placed ball deep in the hole there by Anna Hine. You mentioned the youth of both of these teams. The youth served there in that instance with Hine recording the infield single.
Yeah, just working that 5-6 hole. The middles were pinched up, the gap wanting. Probably working, trying to understand that she's pitching inside to Hine there. Maybe working that ball up the middle, but good job running it out by Hine.
Time called by the freshman catcher, Shuttler. Maybe got something in the eye there. All right. So Kennedy Harp steps in with runners aboard. And that ball is down to start her off. Boy, how impressive has Kennedy Harp been, especially of late? I say that as if she's been batting all season. She's been at it for a week. And yeah, last weekend there was a little rust. Didn't record really a hit or anything like that yet. She's deep in the hole, and everybody is safe. But that has been what she's been doing of late, just filling up the hit column, working some walks, and being awfully productive, number 23 in Garnet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now batting number 6, McKenna Sturgis.
And what an opportunity for McKenna Sturgis. Bases full of Seminoles. And Sturgis goes to left field. That is just foul.
Wow, I mean, just taking a look at McKenna Sturgis, bases loaded, a really impactful at-bat for the freshman here, and just first pitch swinging. And to me, that is understanding, knowing that the pitcher here is coming first pitch strikes, and just, wow, that just barely missed. Let's see if she can make the adjustment on the next swing.
Straighten it out just, what, maybe an inch or two?
Maybe.
Oh, what a spot there by Hoekstra. Sturgis just grooved one down the line, an inch foul, and so she goes to the outside part of the plate. There's the numbers for McKenna. 404 the batting average, 16 RBI. This is what Florida State was so good at on Thursday, in game one especially. All the situational numbers just maxed out by the Noles. Underneath it to right field, and this time FSU will leave runners on base. A combined 5 runners left on base in this first inning. Plenty of action early on a Saturday morning. In year number 8 at Rutgers, who also, oh yeah, she's plenty familiar with this stadium as the 2006 SEC Player of the Year. Just a couple of hours down the road in Gainesville. So every year she'd make a trip here. Now back as a head coach of the Scarlet Knights, whose team passed the bat relatively well in the first inning, especially early. Rower with a single. Stripling was hit by a pitch. Wong did her job moving them both into scoring position off the sack bunt. But credit Florida State, namely Jazzy Francic, for making some good pitches and forcing outs with her back against the wall to keep it scoreless through the top of the first. Rutgers, to their credit, stranding the Seminoles with the bases loaded. And that leads us to this. Addie Osborne, the sophomore, will lead things off. Rutgers will go 6, 7, and 8 to kick off this top of the second.
And we talked a little bit to Coach earlier. Osborne, as a sophomore, has really stepped up into the leadership role for the Scarlet Knights, and just being able to, again, have so much youth in these teams, but too, to be able to see them be mature and want those roles. It's always amazing and got to be comforting as a coach.
Called strike on the 3-0. Osborne taken all the way. That's a good point there, Michaela. Coach Butler told us, you know, you go back 2 years ago, they had a tremendous year, but they had 11 seniors on that team. So last year they had 2 choices. Go to the portal or bring in your freshmen and just ride with the freshmen. And there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows, and, you know, maybe they're going to get a few more ABs than ordinarily they would. But that means that a lot of these kids have a lot of experience, one of which being Osborne, who's become the chief slugger of the lineup. Underneath that one, though, Beecham comes all the way in from the hot corner and makes a nice play.
Yeah, really good communication by JCD there with Bella. Almost looking like she wanted to take that one, but I think Jazzy just coming from behind and that at-bat, just having to compete and throw strikes there towards the end. I'd say that's a pretty good way to get out of that one.
One up, one down, and a very dangerous batter sidestep as Bailey Burtis steps in. Burtis actually leads Rutgers in hits this season, at least so far this season, with 17. She's another one of those sophomores that has taken a big step forward as she drives this ball to center field, not deep enough to do any damage. Plenty playable for Hart. 2 up, 2 down. Florida State operating so quickly defensively that they're really not allowing us much time to formally introduce the defense. They're just saying, let us introduce ourselves. We got it.
You know, it's just softball, right?
You got it. Jayla Fuller, Rutgers center fielder, steps in. Fuller trying to get going offensively. But she is coming off a 2-for-2 showing in Game 2 against Florida Gulf Coast. Two 2-0 the count to her.
Yeah, it seems to me Jazzy is having a hard time attacking early right now, and I think that's going to be a conversation going into the following inning is how can we attack early, and we're getting up 2-0 in these at-bats against this Rutgers Scarlet Knight. They're just hacking up there, so how can we go and attack first to be able to expand those corners?
Got a called strike there, did Francic. As the count moves to 2-1 to Fuller.
I don't know where that one missed. I was looking pretty close.
Fuller is a player that, despite the fact that she hasn't recorded a bunch of hits, has made her way on board via a couple of walks and quite a few hit by pitches. Nice job fielding her position in the circle. Francic herself takes care of Fuller, puts her away at first, and goes through the Scarlet Knights in order here in Tallahassee. Well, we introduced you to Rutgers head coach Kristen Butler. Let's introduce you to the 7-time ACC Coach of the Year in year number 18 here in Tallahassee, the national champ, the 2-time national runner-up, the NFCA Hall of Famer, and number 1 in a lot of folks' hearts here in Tallahassee, Lonnie Alameda. Boy, she has taken that mantle that Dr. Joanne Graff built and just run with it, and has elevated this program to even higher heights, winning that national championship, the last 2 trips to the World Series, going all the way to the Champ Series, taking a game off Oklahoma in 2021 in the Champ Series as an underdog. Boy, it's been a lot of fun watching a lot of really good softball produced by this program as Bella Ruggiero rolls over on the right side. 1 up, 1 down here for Hoekstra.
And I think, too, talking about Coach, talking about both teams here, we mentioned the youth, and I think Coach has mentioned it. Can I have a return on investing into these girls, investing into the youth? And you're starting to see a bunch of the freshmen on the Knowles lineup getting and working those opportunities, and they're going to be big for the Knowles come sophomore, junior, and hopefully senior year.
And as Coach Alameda looks on, the count is 1-0 to her, one of her several freshmen in the order, Haley Griggs. Griggs, who has made a number of starts in the outfield, but has been starting at short in place of Issa Torres, who is still sidelined after the collision with an Alabama base runner right about a week ago now. No call there at the bottom of the zone.
Strike zone looking real small today.
Gonna have to fit those strikes into a bread box, right?
Hey, as a hitter, that means I can be as patient as I want. So as hitters on both lineups here, they got to be able to use this to their advantage.
And you see Griggs so far doing just that, well ahead in the count, 3-1. And Griggs works the walk. Quality plate appearance by Haley Griggs.
Now batting number 7, Angelique Widow.
Can't help but to do a little head nod to her walk out. Very fitting.
Yes. Bueno's been swinging the bat with more confidence of late. Not surprised to see her jump on the first offering there. Is fouled away. The junior from Oviedo, Florida, comes in batting .276. A flurry of hits over the last handful of games for Bueno. Quickly 0-2. She bats ninth. Off the end of the bat and foul.
It's going to be interesting to see how she plans to expand the zone here. With such a small strike zone and working ahead here.
Well upstairs. Bueno doesn't bite, 1-2. Boy, what a hold.
It took everything in her body not to swing that bat. I've had a few of those. Sometimes I just throw the hand out. Maybe the force will help me.
Yeah, the signature Michaela Edenfield throw the hand out at it, right? Popped up. And that is secured at second by Rower.
And you know what? I'd rather say better my hand than my bat on the pitch. I want to be able to get my swing off on. So we're going to see Heller at the top of this lineup, seeing if she can get something started for the Noles.
See what adjustments Florida State makes. First time through the order, a couple of singles just through the left side of the infield and a couple of walks. Aside from that, relatively even split between the groundouts and the flyouts / pop-ups. Heller herself grounded out to third.
Heller doing a really good job staying patient. Again, with the strike zone being small right now, it's how can she come to me with the pitch that I want.
Looking for her first hit of the weekend. Did have a couple of walks in the first game against Florida Gulf Coast. That'll be a called strike. Another good hold by a Florida State batter, and Heller will work the walk.
It's a couple more walks than we're used to seeing from Hoekstra, but I think, again, understanding how can I be patient? Can this Florida State lineup be patient to get their pitch to be able to get their swing off here?
Want to know the count to Jason Beecham off speed to start her off. She was the first Seminole to make her way aboard via a walk on a full count. You mentioned there have been quite a few more balls thrown by Hoekstra than she has really developed a reputation for this season. Out comes her head coach.
Yeah, and just talking about the offensive lineup that Florida State has, Jason Beecham. We just take a look at her and her change from freshman year and just seeing how much she's learned. And I understand to these numbers, you might see a flashy 500 on the left side there, but that 404 means a lot more. She is getting pitched completely different. Now everyone is looking at this Knoll lineup, and she is that circle kid. So being able to go and how she's getting pitched and understanding and being so patient, it just tells volumes for how Florida State's been able to prepare her into her junior year here.
And Michaela, I'm certain to a degree you can relate to that, right? You came out very hot offensively your freshman year, and then sophomore year, or really even as your freshman year progressed along, you start getting pitched differently, right?
Absolutely. You're going to take towards the lineup, and you're going to start saying, where are the RBIs and who do I really want to give damage to? So as a pitching coach, you choose your battles.
2-0 the count to Beecham, make it 3-0. Florida State had the bases loaded in the first and nearly cashed in. They're going to have them loaded again. Back in the first, just for context's sake, McKenna Sturr just roped the ball down the left field line that was ruled just foul. Looked like, from our vantage point, probably the right call, but it didn't miss it by much.
Yeah, it was just barely a miss. And I think going right there, that last at-bat with Jason Beecham, that's 4 straight balls there. Wanting to put the answer here into Ashton Danley's hands, so see if she can get her swing off for the Knolls.
Called strike on the corner. Just to sort of wrap up that first inning story, Sturgis ended up flying out to right, and the Knolls left him loaded. Danley trying to avoid a similar fate, but goes on the ground to short. Rutgers will get the force at second, and that's 3 more left on base by FSU, who continues to knock on the door. It just won't swing open quite yet. Still scoreless through 2 here in Tallahassee.
That's fun.
Back here in Tallahassee, we head to the top of the third between Rutgers and the Seminoles of Florida State. The Knolls checking in at number 10 this week. One of 5 ACC teams in the top 25. Clemson hovering around the top 25 themselves, but FSU, Virginia Tech, Stanford, Duke, and Virginia, who will host the ACC tournament this season. It's a beautiful pitch there by Jazzy Francic.
And that's just the ACC getting bigger and stronger, and that's going to be an amazing line for the RPI and how many ACC teams that we'll be able to see this postseason. So see if we can add on to that.
Boy, hitting with the first 2 there to Shuttler. Francic, who so customarily known for being one of those pitchers who effectively feeds her defense. Showing a little swing and miss stuff early. This time does feed the shortstop, Griggs, who makes a nice play to first.
And that's Jazzy just being able to attack the zone, going in early to the expand.
Well, Michaela, you mentioned RPI. We might as well define it for folks who might not be as familiar.
Absolutely. It's the ratings percentage index, and truly it's the win percentage and being able to play more top 25 teams, because that's what's going to get you those hosting spots towards the end of the year. And we all know we like staying at home and being able to wake up in your own comfort and being around your fans. So it's fun to see how that's moving on to the ACC, but even the Big Ten as well.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Butler excited about the trajectory the Big Ten is on. Of course, Florida State, you go back a handful of years, they had to schedule marquee non-conference games just to sort of, you saw it on the graphic, right? It's your win percentage, it's your strength of schedule, and it's your opponent's strength of schedule that all work their way into that equation. To get that strength of schedule component, they had to schedule the big marquee Big Ten, SEC at the time, Pac-12 teams. But now that the ACC has 5, 6, maybe at some point even 7 teams that'll be in and out of the top 25 this year, boy, They don't need those non-conference tilts, but now they use them as an advantage, as something like a litmus test, right? Yeah, it helps your RPI, but in a world where you can get those RPI points in conference, it also teaches you something about your team against that legit competition.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a 3-game series, and that goes into the mental side and the preparation. And so understanding that the ACC is getting stronger, it's showing up not only here, but across the board, and that's amazing to see.
Nice play by Beecham off the hot corner. So a couple of ground balls fielded cleanly by the left side of the infield by Griggs and Beecham. And Jason Beecham just has that knack, like so many over the past handful of years here in Tallahassee have, of making the hot corner look scary easy. And it's nothing of the kind.
And Florida State's been blessed with amazing third basemen historically. I mean, you got from Sidney Sherrill on to Jason Beecham, just passing the baton off beautifully.
Jesse Warren with the iconic play out in OKC. You go back to Bree Hamilton as well. Nice spot there by Francic. Well, she has really intentionally been working. It feels like every corner of the strike zone, she's starting to get some more calls.
Absolutely. You're going to see she's attacking, understanding that zone is getting small. Can I start off, attack early, and make my defense play for me?
1-2 here to Stripling, who was hit by a pitch in the first. 5 Scarlet Knights batters ended up coming to the plate. Francic faced the minimum in the second. And Stripling's going to step out to have a word with her head coach. And the infield came in, but they didn't fully come in. I think Francic said, you know what, I got it, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of got her off tempo with that timeout there. She's coming in, getting another strike, and in a really good count, 1-2. We love a little K-time action here at the Plex, and I know Jazzy was ready to go right into the next pitch, but taking a little break, settling in. She said, I'm good, let's go.
Starting to get better feel for what has been a tighter strike zone. You will say, though, it's been tight both ways, so here she is with the 1-2. Stripling, the redshirt sophomore, didn't play back in 2024. Played a lot in the outfield, also played as the DP as a redshirt freshman a season ago. Been the DP a lot this year. Holds off on the ball out wide, 2-2. Slower start to the season offensively for Stripling, whose batting average is below 200. On the ground, Beecham showing off that glove on the hot corner. My goodness, Jason Beecham making the extraordinary seem routine. Back here in Tallahassee, I have to say, a pretty good crowd for a 10 in the morning first pitch on a day where, you know, we got the Savannah Bananas and that whole pop culture phenomenon making its way in. So a lot of the parking lots are roped off. A really nice Garnet Gold contingent still finding a way to make their way to the ballpark as we head to the bottom of the third. Sean Davis and Michaela Edenfield, our entire crew, on hand here in Tallahassee. Anna Hind pulled that ball foul to start, but Hind, the freshman, one of several in the order that have been really productive for Florida State, that have just come in and done their job, acclimated well, assimilated well. And last night, or excuse me, a couple of nights ago, she had the big hit late.
Absolutely, and I think it's just the mature at-bats coming from the freshmen in this lineup have been amazing. And Hind personally, what we didn't, I think I talked a little bit about it the first day, but she had a straight 4-ball walk, and just being able to utilize the at-bats previously and add onto them. And it's been really fun to see, and it's going to be continuing on so for her career.
Collectively, Florida State's freshmen offensively responsible for 45% of the hits, 44% of the runs, 46% of the extra base hits, including Hines Homer, and right around 42% of the RBI.
And they're just gaining so much experience here, and that's going to pay dividends.
You can see the confidence growing in every single at-bat. Hind, who did record a single in the first, one of a couple of Seminoles, her and Kennedy Harp, who will be waiting in the wings behind her. Whoa, what a play! That went to the left side, pushing the shortstop deep. This time, testing the glove of the third baseman, Osborne, who skies to make a wonderful play.
Yeah, nothing to hang your hat at there, Hind. I mean, just great contact working through, and fortunately, Rutgers third baseman was just at the right place at the right time, put the glove up.
Osborne, who has been the everyday third baseman for Rutgers, going back to her freshman season. So, like Jason E. Beecham, has found a home there from the outset of her career. What a play. Ball one to Kennedy Harp. Batting average at 500, not a huge volume, but definitely benefiting from her torrid streak of late. Tries to hold off, caught a piece, it'll be a foul tip.
Again, something to note is, can the Noles lineup stay patient here? Understanding how to work the strike zone and going those couple innings of leaving runners on base, I can't help but to think that could feel a little bit of pressure to want to get their swings off, but can they stick to their process here?
2-2, pulled it foul. Preseason all-conference, was on the USA Softball Top 50 watch list for the Player of the Year award. Second team All-American from a season ago. Rung up on strikes.
Yeah, taking a look at that pitch. Hoekstra just does a really good job just nailing that inside. The thing is with her, she's not going to overpower you. She's going to out-execute you with her pitch sequencing, and just held up Harp there.
Ball 1-2, McKenna Sturgis. That's the first strikeout by Florida State. First strikeout for either team. Sturgis hit that well. Out to left field, but playable for Mitchell, who hauls it in. And the Noles are retired in order for the first time today.
Rutgers making those defensive plays. Talking to Coach Lindsay earlier, just can we be really good at controlling what we can do? Sturgis just getting a really good hold. That's another great at-bat from her, from the freshman.
Cassandra Gawecki will step into the circle for Rutgers. Sophomore out of Arcadia, California. Square off with the freshman Anna Hines. 3-3 is the record for Gawecki through 11 appearances on the season. ERA above 4, 34 and a third. 13 walks to 24 strikeouts.
And I'm sure people are wondering why Coach probably pulled Hoekstra out there. Not only does the team have to be able to, go for game one, be able to get their arms and have that, but they got to be able to have her potentially for game two.
Well, Golecki, who is a transfer into the program, came in from Ohio State. This is her first year with Rutgers, so from Big Ten school to Big Ten school, she hits with strike one to Anaheim. On the ground to third. Osborne makes the play, 2 down.
Golecki doing a really good job keeping Hines off balance, just being able to roll over on that changeup. Really tough just coming in, new pitcher. How do I make the adjustment? But Harp here with the experience, seeing if we can get this run in from second base.
An infield single in the first for Kennedy Harp. That ball is down, 1-0 the count. For a game that has been decidedly defensive. Have not seen a ton of strikeouts. Yes, Jazzy Francic has recorded 3 here in a row, actually, relatively recently, but just 2 by the Seminoles. So you're talking about, 15 outs on one side and 14 on another, just 5 combined strikeouts. A lot of balls in play. Defenses have just stepped up and done a really nice job.
Yeah, we got to continue to put on pressure to the defense. And again, would you rather want a fly out or a ground ball? And to me, I think I'm going for the ground ball. So adjusting the hitter's plan to be able to put the pressure on the D will determine to see who shakes up first and who can score first, and then hold the tempo for the rest of the game.
Called strike on the outside corner to Kennedy Harp. And one of those couple of Seminole strikeouts was Harp back in the third. Struck out looking. The second Seminole strikeout was just a couple batters ago. And as the innings tick away, as the outs pass by, and the opportunities to get somebody on base are conceivably fewer and fewer and fewer in regulation. Boy, what an important AB here. That is down.
Yeah, and as Coach just said earlier, it's how can we stick to the process? Nothing changes. It just, how can we just have the one slip through to be able to get that run? So staying calm here.
That was a big block a moment ago by Shuttler. And Harp goes down swinging. Golecki comes in and does her job, retiring 2 Seminoles, 1 via the ground out, and a huge K to Kennedy Harp.
Yeah, Golecki right there. That changeup is just beautiful, and being able to get a good response, adding momentum into the Scarlet dugout.
Welcome back to Tallahassee as we head to the top of the 6th inning this Saturday morning between Rutgers and the Seminoles of Florida State. 6 hits between them, a lot of balls in play. It's been a chance for the Scarlet Knights and the Seminoles defenses respectively to flex a little bit. Each of the pitching staffs starting to get some more swing and miss stuff. That includes Jazzy Francic, who got the start for the Seminoles and remains in the circle. Her 3 strikeouts coming in the last 2 innings, all in a row. 2 to end the 4th, 1 to kick off the 5th, before a ground out, a single, and another ground out. Top of the order here for Rutgers. Rower will lead things off. Singled in the 1st, did Rower. One of now just 2 hits for Rutgers.
Rower wanting to be a table setter right here for the big backs later in the lineup. This is the 3rd time through with Jazzy Francic in the circle, so hopefully making some adjustments.
Transferred in from Bryant, did Rower, and she is a player that, Michaela, you mentioned leadership and how Osborne has been that visible, audible leader for Rutgers. Rower is a player that Kristen Butler, her head coach, mentioned has become the type of player that she doesn't talk a lot, but when she does, the team listens.
And it's important to have that type of dynamic leadership, especially when you have, both ranges with transfers and freshmen. There's got to be a middle ground for everyone to, have a consensus with, and to be able to have that with one girl, a 1-year in transfer, it's got to be a good feeling.
Full count. And she will work the walk. In comes the infield, and in comes a Scarlet Knight pinch runner. Sam Del Hoyo.
Defense taking a little moment to talk there. Again, nothing changes, Jazzy. Right here, we want you to attack the zone, feed me, feed the defense, because there's an opportunity for a double play here.
Now batting number 2, Haley Stripling.
It'll be Haley Stripling who will step in. She was hit by a pitch in the 1st, but grounded out in the 3rd. Tried to lay it down. It is clearly foul. But hey, good commitment. you're not exactly looking back to the backstop. Keep running until they send you back, right?
Right. Full throttle.
The count.
Yeah, really interesting move there by Haley, testing the defense, showing bunt, trying again situational hitting. How do I get my girl over so hopefully we can get her in?
On a line to short, Griggs back to 1st, and the Noles double off the Scarlet Knights. What a lift for Francic in the circle.
Now, I did say the infielders wanted Jazzy Francic to feed her, but Griggs just being able to get your glove up here. That is amazing swing off by 2, and just catching the runner off, doubling her off. 2 outs for the Noles.
And up steps Riley Wong, who has made some really nice plays up the middle for Rutgers today.
Yeah, she made that impressive dive play against Jason's head. I totally thought that was going to go through.
Yes. Big cut there, 1-1 to Wong. 6 of her 13 hits this season have come in the last 4 games for the Scarlet Knights. So we've talked about the trend where the sophomores have taken the step forward. That step forward has really manifested itself over the last give or take a week or so. So it's a different team than even it was a couple of weeks ago to start the season. A little more offensive, a little more pop.
And the identity at these tournaments are so big in the beginning of the year to do so. So you have a better idea for your team identity when it goes into conference play.
No call on the corner. It's going to run full to Wong.
Lots of oohs and ahs from the fans.
That's the subtle but not so subtle way of saying we don't agree with that ball call.
I've had quite a few of those.
Popped up. Ruggiero calls off Beecham, gets underneath it, and Florida State collectively works around the leadoff walk to keep it scoreless. Their bats come to the plate next. Well, Riley Hoekstra got a big starting assignment against the 10th-ranked Seminoles, and boy, is she delivered.
I mean, Hoekstra just does a really good job establishing the zone early and then just executing her pitches. And talking about executing her pitches better coming through, Jazzy Franzik doing what she does best, mixing speeds and giving all the looks and holding the Scarlet Knights off balance.
High fives all around for Franzik. And this has been the comparison. 4 1/3 for Hoekstra, 4 hits, 4 walks, couple of timely strikeouts. Franzik, 6 innings of work, still in the circle, conceivably 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And don't overlook Golecki, who we see back in the circle, who came in, got a big strikeout with Jason E. Beecham in scoring position to eliminate the threat that Florida State was trying to mount an inning ago. McKenna Sturgis will lead things off. Florida State will go 6, 7, 8 in this home half of the 6th.
Ooh-wee, that strike zone, man.
You and I both kind of tilted our head at that a little bit.
Yeah, I hate to be like the woe is me on that, but again, it's something you got to deal with as a player. And how do you combat and how do we stay into it without pressing? It's where things like the strike zone towards the end of the game gets to be really tough.
And I can only imagine, too, a zone that has been tight for both teams, to be fair, throughout this game. It's got to feel even tighter at this stage of the game.
Because even though these moments, opportunities, they are the same, but when you put a number of an inning, they feel different. So I think, again, Coach is talking about how do you keep onto those plans. I know they definitely want that 2-out hitting that they showed the other day right now, so definitely getting people on.
Like that, a single up the middle for Sturgis.
Getting people on is going to be huge for Florida State. Again, the situational hitting. We're taking a look at Sturgis' swing right there. Not doing too much, just wanting to make contact, driving that ball right back up the middle. Again, a freshman stepping up, doing her job.
And a redshirt freshman stepping in. A ground out and a fly out for Ruggiero. And this is elevated into foul territory and out of the reach of Mitchell.
A good effort out there.
Really nice effort. It'll go down as a long strike for Ruggiero. With that fly out, she put a charge into a ball to straightaway center while we were talking with her head coach, Lonnie Alameda.
Yeah, just miss.
And then right behind her, Haley Griggs recorded a single. And Coach didn't want to hop off the headsets. Sturgis trying to stretch one bag into two, and she will be punched out on the hot corner.
The defense coming through for the Scarlet Knights. Coach, we had talked about it earlier. It was going to be the defense and how do they stay in tight against the Noles, and that was exactly that. Rutgers being heads up. I got to appreciate Sturgis trying to make a little move with the base running there and put someone on third to hopefully get a sack fly opportunity. So again, seeing aggressiveness coming from the Noles, nothing new there.
So 2 outs on the board for Griggs. Eliminate the base runner. Inning and a third so far in relief for Cassandra Gowecki. The one hit, a huge strikeout. And now how about Rutgers? You mentioned the defense. Florida State flexes and makes a play on the infield. Rutgers responds in the same inning. But Gowecki's got to settle down here. No strikes yet to Griggs.
Yeah, Rutgers doing all that they can to make sure this game is tight because they want to be able to get their big swings off.
We'll be in the heart of the Rutgers order in the top of the 7th. And Griggs' walk pushes Florida State closer to the point where, you don't want to rule out the possibility of 2-out magic here. But assuming that Gowecki finds a way through Bueno, you'll be at the top of Florida State's order in the 7th. We'll see how long the Noles can pass the bat, though. We know they're certainly capable of finding a way late. Called strike on the corner. Florida State tried to start the hit and run. Not a bad idea, but that ball is hauled in by Mitchell, and that will put an end to the 6th here in Tallahassee. Donuts all around on a Saturday morning. Time to lock in. Top of the 7th. Rutgers having no problem with that. And in case you were wondering, the last time the Scarlet Knights picked up a road win against a top 25 opponent happened back on March 18th, 2012 against, oh yeah, number 21, Florida State. 1-0 of all things. And today, in this game, 1 very well could just be enough. We'll see how much scoring we get in the 7th or if we got to go beyond. I mentioned in the 6th that Rutgers is at the heart of their order. McKenna Coleman will lead things off. She bats 4th. She'll be followed by Mia Mitchell and then Addie Osborne. Popped up and foul.
Again, the momentum here has just been shifted back and forth from each dugout. I think when you take a look at the double plays that took out so much momentum from both teams from last inning. And so you got to wonder, it is the matter of who can score first and hold the tempo of the game. And Rutgers, I'm sure they got to be looking to score right now.
Well, Coleman finds herself behind in the count, 1-2. A fielder's choice. And a strikeout.
Jazzy's smiling after that pitch. Doing a really good job. Again, can I command the zone to be able to expand here?
On the ground to the hot corner, Beecham to first. And that will bring up Mia Mitchell. And Mitchell, we've talked a little about it. 8 hits on the season, 5 in the last 3 games. 8 of her 10 RBI in the last 3 games. And if you go back to yesterday, boy, what a day she had. The Scarlet Knights played FGCU not once but twice, just like the Seminoles. And yesterday, she was 4 of 6, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, including a grand slam, 6 RBI in total.
Yeah, I think Coach found that comfortable feel. It's just a matter of can she have that and work consistency here. We got the ones and the ones here.
Reaches for it, out to left, and nobody able to get a glove on it. Just in that awkward spot where neither of Florida State's true freshmen could get in there in time.
Yeah, taking a look at that. She just got a little out front, an outside pitch, just getting enough of it. Again, just dunking it right over the shortstop's head. That little no man's land. Tough spot for the Noles, but again, can we make sure we're staying calm right now? Got a chance for another double play ball.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter stepping in. Etta Garofalo. Interesting. But I will say this, just 7 ABs for Garofalo this season. She does have 3 hits in them, has driven in 4 runs. So she has made the most of her opportunities. And now will be tasked to do so again here. Just a freshman out of Warwick, New York. Hit that hard. Almost a carbon copy. Quickly 0-2.
Again, a really good job by Jazzy, starting out early so she can expand here against this pinch hitter.
Up and away again. You can hear both of the dugouts, the fans getting involved. It's getting considerably noisier.
Yeah, this is a super important, big part of the game right here, getting this out.
And after 2 initial strikes, Garofalo with 3 balls makes the count full. And stays alive. After getting multiple runners aboard in the first, Rutgers was sat down in order in the second and the third and the fourth. Before having exactly 1 base runner in each of the last 2 innings, they now have 2 in the 7th.
Garofalo being able, starting her at bat, guns ablaze and swinging, and ended up pulling a walk for her team.
And Osborne will check back in as the pinch runner, so she will be able to resume her spot in the order if we get back to that point. So Etta Garofalo, the freshman, does her job, works the walk off of Jazzy Francic, who's having a word with Jason Beecham.
Again, just trying to communicate, how do we stay calm? How do I make it about this 1 pitch? We still have a chance for a double play ball here, so let's not get too over our head and put the pressure on us.
And here is the other Hoekstra sister, Sierra. Couple of sister pairs on this Rutgers roster. We saw Sierra's younger sister, Kelsey, in the circle with the start today. And that hit her.
Well, that's a bit interesting there. It looked like Francic said it might have hit her knob there. Definitely want to take another look at that.
Umpires are discussing it. Lonnie Alameda did come out to discuss it with the home plate umpire, Jose Chaparro, as well. We'll see if between the 3 of them they decide to make the trip to the monitor. And it does not appear so. What we will see, however, is a pitching change by Florida State. Jazzy Francic out, McKenna Reed in. The plot thickens in the top of the 7th here in Tallahassee. As I mentioned, takes over in the circle for Florida State, the senior out of Portland, Oregon. Here are the numbers for Reed. 10 appearances, ERA at 4.3. 13 innings of work, just 2 walks to 15 strikeouts. If you're looking for somebody who's going to challenge batters in the zone with good, legit swing and miss strikeout stuff, Reed fits the billing.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's how can we use this pitching staff that Florida State has and understand with Jazzy, with the off-speed, being able to give a complete different look with a lefty upspin, and she does throw hard, but she will need to attack the zone to be later to expand on that rise ball.
Jayla Fuller will step in. What a huge opportunity. First pitch in there for strike 1. Another high leverage situation for McKenna Reed. Got Fuller to chase out wide.
I wouldn't change game plan off of that one. Let's expand.
On a piece.
Again, still another chance for a double play ball. The infielders are all pinched in, ready to move.
0-2. Fouled away.
You know, Sean, I thought that ball was going to come back up towards us.
Yeah, we had a little netting issue, but that would have been the most playable one I've seen in quite a while. Could have just reached right out through the window. Fuller digging in here. Hugely important moment. And Fuller holds. Another quality hold by Fuller.
Again, trying to change the hitter's eyes right there. McKenna Reed just expanding the zone, trying to set herself up, hopefully for a swing and miss.
Popped up and foul. Last trip to the plate for Fuller resulted in a single to right. A rocket shot into right, actually. Barreled it up pretty well. 2 outs on the board, though, and Shuttler grounded out right behind her.
Reed doing a really good job, just taking a breath. Understand that is one pitch right here.
1 out on the board, 2-2 again. Popped up over the infield. Beecham calls everybody off. 2 away.
My goodness, I love a good priority pop fly right there. JC just taking it. Steer clear, Kenny. You go back to the circle, girlfriend. I got you. Providing the Noles with another out.
Look for a second like there might have been a pinch hitter coming in. It will indeed still, though, be Charlie Shuttler. A ground out to short and a ground out to third for her today. Up and in. And if you're Florida State, that's a huge second out. Opens up the range of possibilities here to get out of this thing unscathed. No call, though, and nowhere to put the catcher. 2-0.
Again, the importance of attacking early in these counts. So, again, Kenny's her rise ball really getting to work for her to expand on. So, got to be really good at taking a deep breath and being about one pitch mentality.
Charlie Shuttler is one of 4 Scarlet Knight batters with a positive walk to strikeout ratio, 7-3. Fouls that away.
Throwing her inside because they don't want her to have a chance of getting extended here.
Inside again, she pulls it foul. An effective job of working in on the hands, and here come the K-time chants. What a hold.
Again, trying to expand. Tough spot here. Got to be one pitch softball.
She's gone! What a pitch! Woo!
No fans have absolutely erupted this place. McKenna Reed, what a response. Just being able to do what you do best and getting that corner there for the Noles.
And it's amazing how the vibe has shifted. Rutgers was in party mode, and now Florida State's vibing. 15 left on base between the two. The big outs when both sides have needed it most, but we still are in the bottom of the 7th, and the Noles have a chance to end it right here in regulation. We're at the top of the Florida State order with Marin Heller, who has walked once, leading it off. Sean Davison, Michaela Edenfield, the entire crew on hand as we have had a flair for the dramatic on this Saturday morning in Florida's capital city. Couple of ground outs sandwiching the walk for Heller.
Wow, really good. Just seeing these pitches right now. Can I be on time? Can I be about? I don't want to do too much. Just want to get on base.
First two pitches were above the zone, that one below it, and it's quickly 3-0 to Heller. Jason E. Beecham will be in the on-deck circle, 2 walks and a single for her. 4 pitches, and Heller is at first.
That's an outstanding job by the freshman. Again, sometimes these situations, you want to do more than you actually have to, right? And just again, can I be about seeing the balls here, wanting to get my swing off, and if it's not what I want, I don't have to swing, and that's a great job pulling a walk for the Noles with Jason E. Beecham up.
Nice response by Gowecki. Didn't throw a single strike to Heller, starts Beecham off with one. I mentioned the 2 walks and the single. She's 1 for 1. Hit well, out to left field, and Beecham delivers the dagger.
Jason E. Beecham, I mean, we're talking about to the last pitch. Wow.
What a time for your 4th home run of the season. Hugs all around for Beecham. What a fight between these two teams. The Noles win this one, and Michaela, I would argue we all win because we get to see these two do it again.
Absolutely. I mean, what a privilege to be able to come from the pitching exchange for both sides, and hopefully to see a little bit more.
Heartbreaker for Rutgers. If there is a silver lining, you did a lot of good things, and you get the Noles again with a fresh opportunity. But for Florida State, whether it was the big hit by Beecham, the huge strikeout by McKenna Reed, the 2 outs that she got with the bases loaded. Michaela, what are you most impressed with regards to the Seminoles?
I think it's just the resiliency. So, like, I understand in these games, like, the momentum and the pressure, you get towards those late innings, and it feels like you have to do it. You have to do more. And I think Marin Heller, the freshman, just being able to start off with a walk and, again, maintaining composure in these moments with such a young group, I'm very, very happy to see that. I'm very excited to see what the Noles are going to look like in Game 2.
Well, it will come your way in roughly 30 minutes from now. A defensive battle ends with a Beecham bomb in Game 1 between the Scarlet Knights and the Seminoles. For Michaela Edenfield, our producer Tucker Pierce, director Abby Longhofer, and the entire crew at the Plex, Sean Davison saying, see ya in 30 minutes for Game 2 between Rutgers and Florida State.